Hey everybody, it's me, Andrew Fantasia, and I'm doing this video for the Fannie Awards for the most disappointing award. Normally, I don't do videos. Normally, I just post it, and that's it. But for this one, my rant was especially passionate, I guess is the right word for it, and I just couldn't put this down in words. I needed you to see my eyes to kind of know how I felt. So our five nominees for most disappointing movie of the year were Hail Caesar, The Jungle Book, Midnight Special, Neighbors 2, and Triple Nine. And it really wasn't much of a competition for me. I mean, the other four were disappointing, but at the end of the day, my award for most disappointing had to go to The Jungle Book. I know, gasp, shock, horrors. Everybody loves Jon Favreau. Everybody liked this movie, but I didn't. And there are three big reasons why. Now, remember, let me start this off with a little caveat just to ease you guys into this. I want you all to realize that the original Jungle Book movie is not something that I hold sacred. It's a great Disney movie, but it's not my number one Disney movie. It's not even in my top 5 Disney movies. It's just a really good Disney movie that I have enjoyed. So when I found out they were doing a remake, I was like, sure, you know what? Bring it on. Let's do a modern remake of The Jungle Book. I'd be for it. It wasn't something where I was like, don't you dare touch The Jungle Book. That is the holy grail. No, I was all for it. I was ready to see what this new Jungle Book would have to offer. So please understand that this is not coming from some huge personal bias on my part. This is just a guy who enjoyed one movie and was looking forward to enjoying it again. Now, as I said, there are 3 things about Jon Favreau's Jungle Book that just didn't make it work for me, that made the bad outweigh the good. So let's just go over those 3 things. The first thing was Kaa. In the original, Kaa was this neat little character. He was a secondary villain to Shere Khan, and he had 2 scenes, one in which he's introduced, and a second one, which was even better, where he shares a scene with Shere Khan. Kaa's got Mowgli in his clutches. He's ready to eat him, and Shere Khan shows up and is just like, hey, have you seen that man cub? And they have this little standoff between each other. The 2 villains just kind of, do this little verbal sparring, and Kaa's trying to hide the fact that he has Mowgli up in his tree because he wants to eat Mowgli himself. So it was this great little layer to the character. Instead of just being this one-off little bumbling side villain, Kaa came back and had this cool moment where he's actually protecting our hero, just not for very good reasons. And we got to see him face off against a very frightening villain and have this little moment together before Mowgli escapes again. And that, I feel, is what made Kaa so memorable in the first one. Now, when I found out that they cast Scarlett Johansson as Kaa, I was like, that is really cool. I mean, this movie's casting was off the charts. It was awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, Scarlett Johansson can hypnotize and eat me any day she wants. So I was all for it. Bring it on. So we get Kaa in this new movie. And she shows up for one scene, which is fine. She doesn't have to have 2 scenes. But all they did with Kaa was have her spout exposition at Mowgli and then vanish. She's gone. He gets away. We never see Kaa again. She just said, hey, Mowgli, your father burned Shere Khan, and now that's why he wants to kill you. Because, of course, why else would a tiger want to kill a human? It's not like it's in its nature or anything. And this whole concept of bringing Mowgli's father into it, I mean, ever since we got a little reboot a few years ago called The Amazing The Amazing Spider Shit, all of a sudden everybody's bringing everybody's parents into everything for no reason, and now Mowgli's dad is part of it, and it's all become this revenge tale of, you killed my father, I'm gonna kill you now. So Kaa was just there to deliver exposition, and then she disappeared. So I thought that was a very unfortunate way to treat a very memorable character, and to treat, to a waste of Scarlett Johansson. I mean, she's a talented lady. She could have done so much and had a lot of fun with this character, but no. Instead, we got Kaa the exposition fairy, and then that was it. So that's my first reason. My second reason is the music. When you're making a movie, any movie, you always have 2 options. You can make a musical, or you can not make a musical. Neither option is incorrect. It's just a choice. The original Jungle Book was a musical. That's fine. This new Jungle Book didn't have to be a musical. I mean, if they had said, we're not going to have any music, we won't have bare necessities, none of it's going to be in it, I would have been like, okay, that's fine. You're going to do your own thing. You're going to tell your story without music. Sure, let's see it. Instead, what we got was this weird flip-flopping hybrid where it felt like sometimes they wanted to be a musical, but as soon as they were like, no, we're sorry, we're not a musical. Never mind. First, you got the bare necessities, which kind of starts off almost hesitantly. They're just kind of, Baloo and Mowgli are playing around, and then he starts whistling it, and then they start singing it, and then they abruptly stop singing it. And that's it. And it's gone. I'm like, okay, all right. Maybe that was just like a little cameo because the bare necessities is so famous that they just wanted to throw it in there for the old fans. All right, I'm fine with that. Have a little song cameo in your movie if you're not going to be a musical. That's cool. I won't judge you for that. Then we get to King Louie. Now, the song King Louie sings, I Want to Be Like You, that's the song in the original movie that really, it got everybody's butts moving in their seats. That was the powerful, dancing, balls to the wall, crazy choreographed song. Monkeys are flipping around in the sky. Baloo puts on a disguise to save Mowgli, and the song is so intense that he gets into it and compromises himself because he can't help it. The music's that crazy. And what we got in this new movie with that song was literally King Louie singing it to Mowgli for 2 minutes, maybe a little longer, just sitting in a chair, just like this. I mean, if I start saying right now, ooh, I want to be like you, ooh, I am literally giving as much energy as they gave in this $200 million movie for this iconic song. I mean, really? Was that? Jon Favreau's a good director. He's a very good director. I don't know if you've seen his stuff, but he's good. I can't believe that he would look at these dailies and see that footage and say, you know what, I like that. That's really well directed. That doesn't need to be worked on anymore. It blows my mind. It's just an ape sitting and singing, and Mowgli just every once in a while looking up at him and shifting his weight and looking up at him again. That was how you did I Want to Be Like You? That was your best foot forward for that song? Really? And I know what you're thinking. Okay, maybe King Louie couldn't dance around and jump around like he did in the old one because King Louie is too big now. He's a gigantic ape. He's not just an orangutan anymore. Well, that's my fucking point. Maybe he should not have been King Kong. Maybe he should have just been a normal-sized ape. Or at least have the other monkeys doing crazy stuff. At least have something. Have something instead of a person sitting and a person watching a person sitting. So that was number 2. Now, my number 3, my final reason that The Jungle Book tanked for me, the biggest reason of all, is the ending. Now, when the original movie ended, the whole plot of that film was about Mowgli doesn't belong here. He grew up in the jungle, but the jungle was not for him. He was supposed to be in the man village. And the other animals took it upon themselves to make sure that Mowgli got to the man village safely. But Mowgli was not crazy about this idea. To him, the jungle was life. He didn't want to change that. He didn't want to usurp everything he knew to go into unfamiliar territory. And that whole plot is a perfect encapsulation of the theme of growing up. The jungle is, in essence, childhood. It's mystery, it's adventure, it's intrigue, it's playfulness, it's all these crazy things, it's exploration. And the man village is rigid, boring, grown-up society. And the animals are telling Mowgli, just like grown-ups would tell us as kids, you know what, you've had your fun in the jungle, now you've got to get your ass to the man village and grow up. And Mowgli was like, no, I don't want to. And he would refuse it every step of the way. He meets Baloo, a slacker who's, just living life his own way. And he thinks, yeah, I want to be like that guy. That guy didn't have to grow up. That guy can stay in the jungle as long as he wants. And it created this great little slice of life in this adventure story. And when they got to the man village at the end of the film, Mowgli and Bagheera and Baloo are standing at the edge of the jungle and they're looking at the village, and Mowgli still doesn't want anything to do with it. He does not want to grow up. And then out comes this girl. She's about Mowgli's age. She walks out of the village. She's carrying a jar. She walks up to the river, and she starts singing a song, which in my opinion is the best song of the movie and the best scene of that movie. It's a very simple song. It's so short, like I could literally say the lyrics to you in under 30 seconds. She says, "Father's hunting in the forest, mother's cooking in the home. I must go to fetch the water till the day that I am grown. Till I'm grown, till I'm grown. Then I will have a handsome husband and a daughter of my own, and she will go to fetch the water while I'm cooking in the home." That's it. That's the whole song. When you hear those lyrics, that to me represents everything that's wrong with this grown-up society we've created for ourselves. This girl is 100% okay with the fact that her whole life revolves around, I can't wait to meet a boy and make babies so that my babies can make babies. And that's it. She doesn't care about adventure. She doesn't want to explore the world. She doesn't want to explore her own capabilities, what she can do. She doesn't want to try new things and seek out new horizons like Mowgli. She just wants to make babies because society says she has to make babies. And then she wants to watch them make their babies. That's the man village. That's what the man village represents. It's all of the trap of adult society. And Mowgli lives in this freedom. He was given this opportunity to be born into a freedom that he is now being asked to give up. And when Mowgli sees this girl, remember, he didn't want any part of the man village, but once he sees her singing this song, all of a sudden something stirs in his loins and he's just like, hey, this is interesting. And he follows the girl. She walks back to the man village. He picks up her jar for her and he follows her in. And the other animals never see Mowgli again. Now the girl, she sang this song. It was, despite the fact that the melody was very slow and very haunting, she sang it happily and hopefully. She really couldn't care less about anything besides making babies. And Mowgli, somebody who had so much potential, who could literally have done so many things in his life if he had grown up in the jungle and learned to fend for himself, suddenly all of that potential is gone because Mowgli was sucked into this trap of make babies and be part of society. And the animals watch him leave and they turn to each other and they're like, well, there he goes, that's it. And then Baloo and Bagheera walk arm in arm back into the jungle, and it's not until we see them stepping back into the trees that we hear the happy music kick in again, that you hear those final few riffs of the bare necessities, and you see that really the jungle is kind of the place to be. That to me is so powerful for a kid's movie, for an animated kid's movie from 50, 60 years ago. Now, when you make a remake of a movie, you're going to change things. That's how life works. And if they had said to me, you know what, we're not going to have this scene in the movie, we're going to change the ending, I'd be like, you know what, okay, you're doing a remake. I'm sure you've got good ideas, so change the ending. And when I walked out of that movie theater, which, by the way, they did not use this scene in the ending, I walked out of that movie theater thinking to myself how that meeting went between Jon Favreau and Bob Iger when they were sitting down discussing the new script, and John is like, hey, Bob, we got the script, it's ready to go, and we're going to start rolling camera in about a week. And Bob Iger would say, wow, that's great news, John. I really liked that whole ending thing with the man village. It was very, very haunting and very surreal, and it had a really adult edge to it. I'm really curious to see you bring that to the big screen. Oh, well, Bob, we're not going to do that ending. We change it up. I got my think tank working on it. We got an even better ending. It's going to knock everybody out of the park. It's going to be great. Oh, that's awesome, John. You're breaking new ground. You're busting creative frontiers. I'm excited. Tell me, what is this new ending that you have that's going to top this original ending? And Jon Favreau says, well, here it is. You ready? You ready? You sure? Our new ending for the big boy version of the Jungle Book. Mowgli, Baloo, and Bagheera climb a tree and take a nap. Most disappointing movie of 2016, everybody. Thank you.